Welcome back. For those of you who are new here, I'm Duncan and this is Sophie. Usually you'll see us cruising around Australia like this, but for the next couple of videos we've switched it up and are swapping red dust and van life for salt spray and boat stay. If you haven't watched it already, check out our previous episode where we collect our home for the next week. Get under sail for the first time, meet the local dingoes at Archcliffe, and our mate Timmy gets the official first squid of the trip. Come join us as we explore one of our top places to be, Awinya Island, formerly known as Fraser. This week we're getting to one of the most remote and hard to reach spots, the sapphire jewel in Gooroo's crown, Wathumba Creek. And seriously, this place speaks for itself. But first, how was our first night sleeping on the boat?
So I've woken up at about 4:50 in the morning because it's very loud on a boat. It's actually a lot harder to sleep than I thought it would be. There's so many bumps and grinds and groans, and yeah, even in calm waters. So I've got a newfound respect for people who live on boats full time. I guess you get used to it, but I'm a pretty light sleeper, so every big bang seems to wake me up. So I don't know how much sleep I got. But the plus side of waking up this early is you get to sit on the top of the boat and watch the sunrise, which is at about 5:30. So I've got about 15-20 minutes until the sun should rise over that kind of little sand cliff in front of me. So that should be pretty good. There's definitely plus sides to being up early in the morning. That is, if I wasn't so tired. I think it's a bit like when you first move into your caravan and all the noises are foreign to you, and when there's a bang or a massive creak or the motion, whatever it is, it just wakes you straight up. And I'm a pretty light sleeper, so I'm hoping by the end of 7 days I am comfortable with it and sleeping through the night, but it's definitely a struggle. So not something I really thought about coming on a boat. You think of all the nice stuff, but you can even hear the mast behind me. That's making noise up here, but that's actually groaning down in the cabin and making a ton of noise. And the anchor, when it catches, when the wind blows around, makes another groaning noise. And then you got the water hitting the side of your cabin, which makes some noise. And it's pretty calm, so I can't imagine what being in a rough sea would be like and trying to sleep. I'm sure you acclimatise to it, but it's definitely a struggle for me. So that's something to consider if we were ever going to move on a boat full time, is just how much sleep I'd be getting. And Soph just came up to tell me that me walking around on top of the boat is also very, very loud for her downstairs, and probably for Timmy too, but I don't think it'll wake him up. So you've got to be super quiet. I've come on top of the boat, literally sitting up on the highest point on a nice little pillow, so I'm not making too much noise, but that's another thing. So many things to consider when you're on a boat. And I think I'm just constantly paranoid, even though we haven't moved and the anchor's held and we've got an oversized anchor for the size of the boat and plenty of chain out. I'm still paranoid when I'm sleeping there that the boat's gonna move. Need to put on a drag alarm or a GPS that'll warn us if we do go floating off into the ocean behind us. Because that is my absolute nightmare, is dragging anchor and ending up somewhere we're not wanting to be when we went to sleep. So that's another one that I'm gonna have to acclimatise, is getting comfortable with constantly being in motion and the idea that the anchor is gonna hold and you're not gonna go floating off. a bad way to wake up in the morning with the sun rising just over there above the sandy cliffs. Those beautiful rainbow cliffs, and then a pretty good sunrise. I'd love to get a time lapse of the sunrise, but the boat moves so much that I don't think it would work out very well on there. And sunrises, very refreshing and almost worth being up so early in the morning.
What have you caught?
Well, my first fish that I caught is still technically a fish, but it's a starfish.
Oh.
And he's eaten all that squid and got the hook in there, so I don't know how I'm gonna get that out, but I knew I was onto something, but it was just weight, it wasn't really fighting, so. Timmy, does it count? Have I caught a fish?
If it's not edible, then
Is it
no.
1-all? Oh, starfish, he's a spiky little bugger. Righto, let's try and get this hook out of his mouth. You can see he's eaten the bait because he's really swallowed that hook. Now, don't know how we're going to do this. There we go. Hopefully no more worse off and still very much alive. That's pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that. In we go. Slip, slop, slap, aso. What's on the agenda other than putting sunscreen on?
We're gonna try and get to Wathumba Creek. So it's northeast, I don't know the distance, but it looks amazing. And because this is a southeasterly wind, we can head up the creek, it's pretty big, and do a bit of paddleboarding up there and be a bit more protected. So that's the plan.
So we're currently powering. We are heading into the wind, so we can't get in the sails out today, unfortunately, unless the wind direction changes, but we are motoring up the south side of Fraser Island.
The west?
The west side of Fraser Island. What's the south side?
That would be Inskip.
That'd be Inskip Point. No, I obviously don't know where I am. So we're heading up the side of Fraser Island, and yeah, we're just gonna drop in wherever we think looks cool.
Yeah.
And hopefully get to Wathumba Creek, but then also there's a couple of little artificial reefs and an area that the guy was saying might be good for spearfishing. So we're just gonna look under the boat every now and then, see what we see what we can get. And we've got the rods hanging out behind us with some good lures in our wake. So fingers crossed we are luckier with fishing and we catch something whilst kind of trawling up here, because that'd be nice. Be the easiest fish I ever caught if we catch something this way. So see how we get on.
End of Wathumba Creek, which is slightly windier side of Wathumba Creek. So we might not stay here for tonight. We'll probably anchor at the south side. But this is a really good spot for exploring the creek and the beaches, seeing what's about. Whew, it is not as windy in here as it is out there. So I thought I'd show you where we've anchored. Out there, just north of Wathumba Creek, which is slightly windier side. but it means we get closer access to the water, to the beach, to the creek.
Kimmy's doing a toy run. We've got paddleboards, kites. What more could you want? Okay guys, as promised, the really exciting news that's actually exciting news and is going to change just about everything in our lives.
Everything.
How we travel, what rig we have, the channel, all that sort of stuff, and that is...
We're having a baby.
Well, Soph is having a baby, or growing a baby right now, and yeah, we're going to be parents, and we really wanted to share that with you guys because by the time this video comes out, we will know heartbeat and possibly sex and all those sort of things, but we've kind of been sitting on this news for a little while, so we thought it was a good time to let you guys know because there's probably a lot of questions like, what does this mean for us traveling? What does this mean for making content and so on? Because I know the biggest question we've had from my parents specifically, and possibly yours, is when are you going to get a house? Now you know, now you're pregnant, now you're going to have a kid, when are you going to stop this traveling thing and get a house?
Grow up and buy a house.
And I think the answer to the question is at the moment we still 100% intend to keep traveling, exploring, and I really like the idea of kind of raising little wild children who are just capable and have a deep appreciation for nature and just know how the natural world works, and there's no better way of doing that than the lifestyle that we have at the moment. That's what we think now anyway.
Yeah. Give us a 6-month-old baby and we'll see if we change our minds.
That's true. We might get we'll definitely get a house or something for the period leading up to the birth and then for a period after, just because that kind of makes sense for family coming to visit and all these other things, and you've got all these doctor's appointments and so on. So we'll probably get a base for a little while whilst we plan what our next adventure rig is that hopefully caters as best we can for a growing family. Well, at least one more. We only know it's one at the moment.
Yeah, it could be twins.
Yeah, at least one more member of the If Not Now crew. So that's our very exciting news, and we wanted to share it with you guys because it's going to be something that really changes everything we do. And seeing you guys come along the journey with us, we thought what better way to tell you than whilst we're in this beautiful Fraser Island location on a catamaran, because look at that view.
Need a bit more, don't we?
It's fat ass out.
Yeah, it's 95%.
Just pull me in, guys. I'll wait. I'll wait in the tender. You pull me in.
So you're burying the anchor?
What anchor? That's it, anchor.
What's that?
I don't know. I don't know.
That looks like a good trick.
Hopefully it stays there.
Very good.
Hopefully
because it is currently low tide and we don't want the boat to go anywhere. Look at you carrying all the stuff. It's so beautiful here. Wathumba Creek. I've been trying to think of a word that aptly describes this place, and I was thinking about paradise, because it is. I mean, it's beautiful. Paradise seems a bit cliche, and then I remembered, here's a fun fact for you, that Kagari, Fraser Island, what it actually means is paradise. So it is a bit cliche, but it's also technically correct.
Although it reads Kagari, it's actually pronounced Guri, and it means paradise. And that's what the Bachula people have always called this island. It's derived from their Dreamtime creation story. Now, whether or not you agree with the changing of the name from Fraser to Guri or not, I think we can all agree that paradise is a pretty good name for this island.
The boys have gone for an explore into the bush, which is really nice. Gives me half an hour to myself. I'm really enjoying it in this pregnancy, to have a bit of time to just chill out, not have to socialize and talk. I thought I might get some more morning sickness on the boat with the waves, but so far so good. I have morning sickness, but it's only really nausea, and it's only if I don't eat every probably 3 hours. I also think that being busy for the last few days has taken my mind off it. So actually, while I thought I was going to get worse morning sickness, it's been really good. So far, so good. Pregnancy on a boat has not been bad at all. It's either a ray or a turtle. Oh, he must have heard my big feet coming. He's darted off. Really cool though how much wildlife there is here, and just how clear it is that you could pretty much sit on the beach and scan the shallows and just watch the wildlife swim by. May have royally messed up. So we bought everything to kiteboard. See where I'm going with this, can't you? But it looks like we're missing the click bar. It's the bar that you hold on to. It's probably one of the pieces of equipment that if you forget it, there's no kiting. You can't get around it. As I'm sure you can imagine, we're feeling pretty bummed. It's a really, really good kiting spot, particularly in the inlet. It's beautiful. Wind's looking good, and Dunk is more bummed than me. With the pregnancy, you're not allowed to do any impact sports, which would be kiteboarding, particularly as I'm a beginner. There's a lot of face planting the water, so that's out. That's out for the whole year. So not a goal for 2023 anymore, it's a goal for 2024 to get good at kiteboarding. Not even diving, I can't dive, can't jump in the water, particularly in trimester 1, where I guess everything is a bit more fragile. So I'll be gracefully getting into the water, you'll notice. I'm trying to anyway. Duncan hasn't returned from the boat yet, which means he hasn't found the click bar. And it also means he's probably turned on Starlink and is searching for a click bar that he can buy near to where Steve lives. So when Steve comes and joins us, he can bring it. And Tim went for a paddleboard. It's got to be an hour. So until then, I'm Billy no mates, hanging out by myself, collecting rubbish. Can't really relax. Don't know if you're the same, but when someone's missing, and I'm sure Tim's fine, but when they're missing, I can't just sit down and read a book and do nothing. So yeah, I'll check back in when one of them returns. How'd you go?
Well, very frustrating. I don't know, the click bar must have fallen off in the van, hopefully, maybe somewhere else, might be in the car, wherever. It's kind of come off the side of our kite where it's usually strapped on. So I called around a couple of places trying to see if I could borrow one or whatever, and seems to be Brisbane's the only shot for getting one. So, and of course the old model one that we have, which is on sale, isn't in the right sizes. So put a message into the group to Stevie saying if he does happen to, because he lives in Brizzy, if he does happen to pop into Briz Kites
and pick me up a new bar, that'd be much appreciated. Otherwise, we're not going to be doing any kite surfing. And it's a $1,000 mistake, so very frustrating, but I think it's worth trying to get one so we can at least do a couple of days of kiting while we're up here when we pick him up, because we'll have 3 days left when he comes. I'm absolutely gutted though. Got boards, kites, everything on the beach ready to go. No way of controlling it, so that's really taking the wind out of my sails, as it were. Taking the wind out of my kite. Anyway, beautiful location. Try and enjoy the day. I'm so annoyed with myself. I just hope it's back in the van. I got no idea where it is. Oh well, you get that on the big jobs.
So we left the boat next to the water and the tides have gone out, so the boys have got a fun job. It actually doesn't look that hard. They must have bigger muscles than we give them credit for. What's wrong with your hand?
Just give myself a blood blister. All that part of my hand. Didn't quite realise that when I wrapped the rope around there. Anyway, get in. Up the belly up.
Timmy's in charge this time.
Watch out. Do you notice how, because it's getting shallow and it's actually important to drive this well, Tim has just taken command. He hasn't gone, oh, who wants to drive? He's like, no, I know what I'm doing. You two can sit at the front. Soph's getting in the hammock, and then she's trusting me to lower her in.
I'm also trusting that this is going to hold my weight.
It will. If it holds the boat, it should hold you. You're getting pretty big, but it should hold you. You're trusting me not to lower you into the water though.
I'm putting a lot of trust into you. It's a bit twisted. I'm on an angle, but this is actually quite nice.
Okay, you good?
Yeah, this is good like this.
Righto.
Not too low. About there's good.
Just there?
Just there. This is lovely.
But then if we were to lower it a little bit more.
No, we don't need to.
How close are you?
I've got about 10 centimeters.
Touching yet?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm so wet. Now I'm wet.
You don't have your phone on you, do you?
No. Yes, I have my phone on me. Oh, actually it's really refreshing, it's quite nice. Once an hour, if you can do that, that'd be great.
Very nice, look at that. Can't beat that for a spot on this boat.
Now I need water, a book, snacks.
You want water, snacks, and a book, okay? Righto, I'm on it. Water, snacks, what more could you want?
My book. You forgot my book.
I did forget your book, I don't know where that is.
Thank you.
What a day, you got the best spot in the house.
No. We'll have to take it first.
Is there any more? Is there anything else you could possibly need?
No, I think I've got it all.
Righto, we'll leave you there then. Because you're going to get very wet when you get out.
Yeah.
Go watch out for the sharks.
What a day. We had so much fun swimming and freediving around the boat that we pretty much forgot to do any talking to camera and spent the evening playing Uno Flip and got an early night. Night 2, and we got a much better night's sleep. We managed to anchor somewhere. The wind wasn't howling through the night, it dropped off, which was amazing, and we both, Soph and I, slept like absolute babies. So much better night's sleep than night 1, so we're feeling pretty good this morning. Waking up to sunrise over Wathumba Creek with the tide out completely changes the look and feel of this place. With the sapphire blue ocean receding, you see the sandbanks starting to appear with the tannin-coloured estuary water flowing out to sea. I'm always amazed at the beauty of the Australian landscape as it changes throughout the day, and both Soph and I are loving the pace of life on the boat that lets you slow down and really soak it all in.
Where are we heading and what are we doing?
We are going everywhere to nowhere. We're just gonna put some sails up, see where it takes us.
Knots at the moment, which is faster than we'd be traveling into the wind under engines. Yeah, so we're actually traveling faster with sail than we were engines. Epic. Cruise down the coast, not using any fuel. Amazing. Just cracked 8.1 knots, which is pretty good seeing how much wind we have. So we are flying along, and this is why we wanted to get a catamaran, so we could actually see what it's like to sail, not just motor around, actually sail. Thank God we got Tinny, he knows what he's doing.
So how these charter boats work is you can hire it bareboat, i.e. without a skipper, even if you have no experience, but then you have to motor. If you haven't sailed before, and you wouldn't have a clue what to do, like we don't have a clue what to do with the ropes and the sails, so you really need someone on board who has sailed. So that's why it's great for us to have Tim here, because it means we can actually put the sails up. Just pulling up at Awinya Creek. So calm here. The dolphins that we've been seeing in the distance have come cruising around the boat. Those ripples just there, that's where the dolphins are. Oh, and there.
Oh God.
So hard to catch them.
Usually look the other way, they come up where you're not looking.
Oh yeah, right behind the boat. Oh, one's really close. Oh, they're eating something.
När han rullar upp i mitt hus och jag steppar ut, det kommer bli vitt till slut. Rullar upp i mitt hus och jag steppar ut, det kommer bli vitt till slut. När han rullar upp i mitt hus och jag steppar ut, det kommer bli vitt till slut. Rullar upp i mitt hus och jag steppar ut, det kommer bli vitt. Jag vill ha din doft i hela rummet, min enda önskan nu. Min enda kan vi leva i denna stund. Jag vill stanna här.
Thanks for watching, guys, and especially for making it to the end. Join us next week as we pick up Stevie, who's actually Tim's brother, and cruise back up this coastline, stopping in at some absolutely stunning spots along the way. Catch you then.